Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another installment of Life Stories. My name is Trent, and I hope you're all doing awesome as always. Today, we got some stories coming at you from Reddit/idontworkherelady. So, kick back and let's get started. Our first story is titled, Slightly Embarrassing for Me. This is probably more than needed, but I like to write. So, this past Christmas, my family and I did some Christmas shopping. Now, I had been on my wife for some time about the kind of clothes she wore, which are nice, but not overly flattering for her, as there are a lot of gifts, hand-me-downs, from her mom and aunt. Crazy fabric patterns or sizes that, again, don't work with her figure, 5'1" and curvaceous. The store I chose was Torrid, which is a clothing store for curvy women, so off we go. Getting into the store, I see things I'd like to have her wear and ask an associate for some help measuring for her intimate apparel. I say to her, "Babe, we should get you fitted because since our 3-month-old baby has been born, your intimates leave a lot to be desired." I know, dick move by me. I apologized, but she agreed. Awesome wife and mother, by the way. "I don't want to, but go ahead and ask the associate," she said. So off I go and ask a front-end employee. The associate says, "There should be someone in the back working on bra measurements near the panty and bra table section." So I went to the back, passing a single guy sitting and waiting for his significant other in the dressing room. Or so I thought. I continue back, and I see a young woman down in the lower panty drawers, doing what I thought was inventory. Excuse me, miss," I ask, "but could you do a bra fitting for my wife?" The panty searcher turns and says, "I believe she just went into the back with someone and should be back out shortly," all while digging through some things and boy shorts. As I noted, some I thought would look good on my wife. Hey, honest! "Thanks very much," I say. "I'll just hang out over here." So I go and hang out with my wife. Soon enough, out comes the fitting associate. They do their thing, and all is good. Fast forward to the end of our shopping excursion, and we are about to pay. But who do I see but the single dude and the girl who I asked about bra and panty fittings? Yeah, I'm a dude, so obviously I'm thinking, great, I just went full panty creeper on some random girl. I probably looked like a stalker or a pervert. I waited till they paid and were out of the store before I paid. Meeting with my wife outside, I explained everything, red-faced. How I read stories on Reddit for I Don't Work Here Lady, and how I have ironically and most embarrassingly become one without any backlash to my self-esteem from this encounter. She almost fell over laughing while my kids were oblivious to the whole thing. I can probably echo the sentiment to every guy in a hetero relationship in the world. Sometimes, you just want to stand outside the lingerie store. It's not worth going in. Moving on, our next story is titled, What's the Wi-Fi? And Other Stories. When I was in college, there was a bar I would regularly stop at on my way home from a nightcap. It was closer to the private college than the school I attended though, so most of the people there were A, pretty entitled, and B, assumed I worked there for reasons I'll explain in a moment. After about a month, I knew the owners and all the employees, and if I was around at the end of the night, I'd lend a hand. Mostly just moving an empty can and glass the extra foot or two to the receptacles, pushing in a chair on my way to the head, nothing major. We'd hang out at other places too, so it was more like helping my friends with something than anything else. Other customers would routinely ask me why I wasn't taking orders, cleaning tables, etc. Some folks actually insisted that I did work there because I know everyone. My favorite instance of this was when some girl was informed that I worked there and handed me her phone to enter the Wi-Fi password. I just looked up at the wall, put it in, and handed it back. Perhaps a missed opportunity on my part, but oh well. As someone who buys clothes at Goodwill and Walmart, I long for that kind of financial confidence. I also had someone tell the owners they ought to fire me for being drunk on the job. I was quickly terminated, and then we did shots to celebrate that we were no longer working together. My most interesting time was alumni night. The place was packed to capacity shortly after I got there and ordered a beer. After finishing my drink, I figured I'd get a breath of fresh air. As more people showed up, one of the bartenders came out to tell people they couldn't let anyone else in, and then they saw me and asked if I could do them a solid tonight. I obliged and spent the next couple of hours barring people from entry, confiscating drinks, they weren't allowed on the porch, telling angry patrons that yes, they did need to leave, and eventually negotiating with a cop once a noise complaint was called in on the crowd gathered at the sidewalk. I got to drink for free that weekend, so I guess I did work there for a minute, maybe. Moral of the story, be nicer to folks in the service industry. I met a lot of jerks who acted that way because they thought I worked there, and because they thought me working there made them better than me. Hey man, I don't see the problem. Make some friends, turn some people away from the door, get free beer for a weekend? Sounds like a win-win. Reminder to please drink responsibly. Anyway, moving along, our next story is titled, "The Funniest Thing You Will Hear All Day." I swear this happened like an hour ago, and I cannot stop laughing. Like not giggling, but full out bursting with laughter. This morning, my mom, grandma, and I went out to eat lunch, just mentioning that to set the scene, but it all really started after we left and started the drive home. My grandma thinks she knows everything. You can't tell her anything different without her picking a fight because she's right, of course, and she'll tune out every other word you say because she's so into what she's thinking is right. Anyway, my grandma went to a 5-minute oil change place a few weeks ago, and today, while on the drive home, she realized there was a coupon she could have used. Apparently, she was looking at the wrong coupon because she called the oil change place to complain about her not getting the half off, when she had already gotten the 25% off that she used. The guy explained that he was looking at their records about it, and that she had come in the day after that coupon had expired, and so she couldn't use it. That doesn't go well with her, and she tries arguing about how the coupon isn't supposed to be done for another month, not realizing she's looking at a different coupon for something else. Anyway, she then says those dreaded words which make me think to put it on here. "Can I speak to your manager?" The guy tried explaining he was the manager, but apparently she's tuning him out, and he's clearly getting frustrated when she asks 3 times for a manager. He finally goes and gets the other guy, his co-manager or whatever, to talk to her. While they're waiting, Grandma makes a very poor joke about how they're probably just going to get someone else to play manager so they don't get in trouble. But lo and behold, the other guy explains the same thing the first guy did. Grandma gets mad and talking to my mom, not realizing the guy was still on the phone. She says she'll just have to call corporate office on them. Then she finally hangs up the phone herself. Apparently she wanted to accuse them of stealing money or not honoring coupons or something. Story's not over yet. This is where the gut-busting laughing part comes in. So, my grandma is apparently unable to look stuff up online herself. She does everything else, but apparently can't understand it's very simple to type something into Google. Barely 10 seconds after hanging up on them, she talks to Siri like it's a person, even saying please and thank you afterwards when it's just a computer, not an actual person. Anyway, she asked Siri for the number to the office. Siri can never understand her enough and always does the wrong thing she's trying to do. Never stops her from using it again, though. Siri goes, "I have the corporate office number for the salad station," which, for those that don't know, is a restaurant near where we live. My mom chuckles and makes a joke about how Grandma could always just order a salad. I laugh a little, listening with half an ear, but more interested in playing games on my phone. Grandma laughs, but apparently didn't know what the joke meant, because she then proceeded to leave a message for the corporate office of Salad Station, explaining her difficulties with the oil change place. It was a 10-minute ride home at this point, and Mom and I were laughing so hard we literally could not breathe. We get home, and Grandma left making a comment on her way. Apparently, she thought we were laughing because she actually called corporate. She left us in the car, laughing, and we couldn't even tell her we were laughing because she complained about one business to a completely separate business. I honestly don't know if we'll bother telling her next time she comes back around, but we probably will eventually, since she lives next door and eats out with us several times a week. She'll probably just think we're messing with her, but I haven't laughed so hard in forever. Funniest call ever, and she was completely serious and stern in her message. There are going to be some very confused people who probably heard us laughing in the background whenever they answer that message. Yeah, I don't know, Grandma. I think the salad station has some oil, but I don't think it's the oil that you're thinking about. It's probably the tasty olive-based kind. Good job being polite to Siri, though. I don't think you'd want to hurt her feelings. Anyway, jokes aside, guys, I want to thank all of you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Life Stories, but we're all out of time, so you know how this goes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Reddit content we got cooking up coming your way, and I hope to see you guys soon.